Right now, very pleased to have with us the president of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, Steve Sinetti. Steve, how you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you. How you doing?
Excellent. You have a piece up of the National Shooting Sports Foundation blog, nssfblog.com, what real gun safety looks like, and it's not from Bloomberg. No, it's not. I mean, look, first of all, Steve, if we're talking about real gun safety, that means you need a place where, let's say, every town should have a place where people can learn how to be safe and responsible with firearms.
Well, of course, they want to use gun safety to mean no guns at all. I mean, they think gun safety is equivalent to gun control, and that's probably one of their focus group's messages to say, don't say gun control because the American people are against gun control by large majorities. But if you say safety, everybody should agree. And we think, yeah, everybody should agree on gun safety, but that means safe and responsible firearms handling and ownership, not get the guns out of your house and demonize gun owners and the industry.
Well, exactly, but again, this is as I said earlier, this is a reboot, a rebrand of a stale campaign, a bunch of stale ideas. They really haven't had any new ideas for decades, Steve. It all goes back to making sure that as few people, making sure that it's as hard as possible to exercise your right to keep and bear arms, so that there are as few legal gun owners in this country as possible.
That's exactly right. I mean, you look at what he's saying in his release when he announced that he's donating $50 million to the cause. He's basically saying he's going to, salt the earth with our ashes. The NRAs, the gun owners, the industry. I mean, his intent is to demonize guns and the industry and gun owners. And our intent is to continue to conduct genuinely effective programs that help save lives, along with a lot of other groups like hunter safety instructions, NRA instructors, concealed carry course instructors, law enforcement, all people teaching legitimate gun safety and the way to safely use and store firearms, not just saying that all you guys are the devil and I'm going to heaven because I'm fighting you, which is what Bloomberg actually said.
I know. It doesn't even have to do the interview, he says.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. I saw a great blog commentary on that, and they said that no, he's got it backward. Just the way to hell it's paved with supposedly good intention.
Well, let's talk about this seriously for a second, because one of the other things that Bloomberg said is that he thinks it's nuts if you are a parent and you're a gun owner. Well, I am a parent and a gun owner, and I know lots of other parents who are gun owners too. A lot of the gun control advocates will, they'll throw out these claims, Steve. They'll say, well, you must care more about your guns than your kids, which is absolute nonsense.
Of course it is. I mean, most of us learned how to shoot and how to hunt responsibly and behave responsibly with firearms as a rite of passage from our parents or grandparents or relatives, aunts, uncles, that sort of thing. And to say that one can't handle firearms safely and still raise children is crazy. I mean, the statistics bear it out. I mean, you see that firearms accidents among all age groups, including young children, are one of the lowest percentages of accidental injuries and deaths in the home of any cause. You have a lot more to fear from your bathtub than you do from a gun at home.
No, absolutely right. And to that end, National Shooting Sports Foundation, as you point out in this a blog post, has been conducting safety initiatives for years voluntarily, not because the federal government or Bloomberg demands it.
Exactly. I mean, the firearms manufacturers have been including locking devices with the guns. The Ten Commandments of gun safety was promulgated back, in the 1930s, I guess, that started, and that was with cooperative efforts of the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute, the NRA, and other groups. I mean, we've been talking about that for years, and it's working. The firearms accident rate is at a record low. It's never been lower, despite more and more people buying guns, more and more people in the population, and more guns being sold in existence. So you have more guns being sold out there, but an epidemic of gun safety and responsibility, which is causing the accident rate to go down, not up.
All right, let's go back and talk about this for a little bit longer here, because Savannah Guthrie at NBC News didn't ask Mayor Bloomberg about this. New York Times didn't ask Mayor Bloomberg about this. Accidents involving firearms are going down, you say?
Down dramatically. They're down 22% in the last 10 years alone. And if you look at the age group of true children, not people in their 20s and 30s and that sort of thing, you look at true children, it is less than 1% of all fatal accidents in that group involve firearms. It's just a fact. And the number's been decreasing. So obviously, people in the large majority of instances are storing and handling their firearms safely and responsibly. And obviously, any needless death is a tragedy, and we've been committed, along with the industry and other groups like the NRA and the other ones I've mentioned, are all committed to try to educate gun owners to make sure they keep that responsibility to keep their guns safely stored when they're not being used. It's basic common sense. It's a personal responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility or Mayor Bloomberg's responsibility to try to dictate to you what you should or shouldn't own to protect or not protect your family.
Talking with Steve Sinetti, the president of the National Shooting Sports Foundation. And Steve, isn't it fascinating that never do the gun control advocates actually acknowledge that that number is going down? They don't really like to acknowledge that violent crime is going down in this country.
That's truly a shame. I mean, last year the Pew Research Center did a thing, and they said that despite the fact that crime is way down to levels not seen since the 1960s, and accidents are at a century-long low, that only 12% of the population thinks that's true, and 56% of the population thinks that crime and accidents with guns are going up because of the media coverage. If it bleeds, it leads. They love these sensationalist stories. They live in cities. They don't see the sporting use of firearms, and so in the main, they just think guns are bad, and the fewer of them, the better. And we need to do more to get that message out to the gun-owning public and the public generally that just because more guns are out there and more gun owners are out there, the news is good. We're having fewer accidents and fewer crimes, not more.
Absolutely. Listen, Steve, I really appreciate you coming on the program, sir. It's good talking to you. And what is your take on the type of impact that this reboot, now every town for gun safety, could have for the industry, for manufacturers?
Well, so far it hasn't been picked up very much or very widely. But on the other hand, in politics, money talks, and they will try to buy whatever they can to see if they can get people elected that will vote their way. However, they are not facing the fact that it's not the industry that's driving people's passion to own firearms. It's an individual choice, and it's an individual right, and the great mass of the American public wants to be able to own the firearms of their choice and use them safely and responsibly. So he can throw as much money as he wants to try to artificially sustain some momentum, but the real momentum is with the lawful gun owners of America who view this as a way of life, a constitutional right, and they're not going to give up quietly. So I think he can pour as much money as he wants, but ultimately we will prevail.
All right, Steve, thank you so much for coming on the program, sir. It's good talking to you, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Anytime. Talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Steve
Bye-bye.
Sinetti joins us from the National Shooting Sports Foundation.